Every event this has happened, somebody has died on. The bike had turned almost 45 degrees of the road, and there was a barbed wire fence there with a post. And I made the decision at that time to, I had to let go of the bike. And from that point on, I don't remember anything from there. Great-grandpa had a mini bike, and we would ride that thing around the yard. And from there, it was just dirt bikes, and as soon as I could drive, street motorcycles and crotch rockets. It's just a different feeling when you're riding down the road with the wind in your face. There's just something different about it. You know, you pick a destination and you hop on and you go. I actually heard from Jason at work. You ever heard of the Hoka Hey? And I'm like, no. So he sent me the link to Riot's, little tracker, and from there it was, these guys are going 10,000 miles and they don't even know the directions until 20 minutes before they leave. I'm like, that's cool. As soon as I got his tracker, I was hooked. I'd be like 10 o'clock at night just watching the tracker and watching all the other riders and where he's placed and where this guy's placed. You're pushing yourself to the limits, when you're talking hours of riding and lack of sleep and the directions, you don't know where you're going except line by line. And I wanted to test myself. I consider myself a good rider, and I looked at it thinking I could do that. I think I can compete with these guys.
I honestly don't remember when he came and decided he was going to do this on his own, just because he's been planning for it for so long, because it was a big endeavor to plan for. Tracy and I have always had a relationship that whatever either one of us want to do, we would never get in the way of that. We're not the couple that, hey, I want to do this, is that okay? We're not asking permission. So I fully support anything that he wants to do. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm still going to support him as his wife. And he's the same way.
When I came to Ann with this, I said, I spent my time raising kids, and I've been working for 40 years. I just want to do one epic thing for myself. This is what I want to do. I want to, at the age of now 56, I want to do one epic thing for myself. She supports everything, everything I do, and I'm glad for that, especially something like this where people get injured every time they do this, and the investment we got into this, it's a lot of money. By the time I got the acceptance, it was probably March or April of 23. And at that time, I had already committed to a trip with a group of friends out to Montana. So come along in July when the trip to Montana comes, again, got the bike ready to go. We're going to ride all the way out. and we met the group of 17 riders. We rode for a week. So then on our way home, I'm asked to lead us the way home. And so I was going to take us on back roads, and I had my GPS on, and we were, I think we were going 60 or 65. We're on a tar road, and then there was no warning, no nothing, just boom. It was gravel, and it wasn't little gravel, it was large gravel. So this is what I remember. I hit that gravel, I looked down at my GPS to see if I missed a turn because there was a tar road here. I looked down, I'm on course, and then when I look up, the bike's coming around to me on the left. So I counter, and the bike comes around again, and I give it one more counter, and I'm coming up, and I literally remember thinking, okay, I'm coming out of it, I got this. But it didn't. The bike continued to go, and it leaned so far that I wasn't going to recover from that, as well as there was the bike had turned almost more than 45 degrees of the road, and there was a barbed wire fence there with a post. And I made the decision at that time to, I had to let go of the bike.
Rosa County 911, what's the location of your emergency?
I don't know. We just were on a paved road, and we came up into gravel really quick. He lost control, and he's in the ditch right now.
Okay. Is he injured?
We don't know. He can talk,
Okay.
but we don't want to move him or anything.
Okay.
He just kept repeating himself before the deputy got there. Every 2 minutes, he's like, did we hit gravel? It's like, yep, we hit gravel. What happened? Well, we hit gravel and you crashed. And then it would be like the cycle would keep repeating. He's like, did we hit gravel? So then I started getting worried that he really had a head injury because he kept repeating himself.
Ultimately, what happened is I ended up breaking the collarbone. I had a punctured lung, and they ended up having to airlift me to a bigger hospital in Montana. And from there, I think I spent 3 days in the hospital. After the accident, I can't even tell you how many people said, so you're done riding. Family and friends said, you're done, right? No, I can't. It's just, I love it too much. Even after this accident, it was never a question whether I was going to get back on a bike or not. I'm getting back on the bike because that's what I love to do. Now, I've been planning this for a little more than a year and a half. Every ride that I took here in 2024 leading up to this is as if I'm going to the Hoka Hey.
This was his whole focus for months prior to this. He woke up thinking about it, he went to bed thinking about it, making lists, figuring out how he was gonna redo his bike. It was like consuming everything. So I wanna say even like our relationship kind of got put on hold a little bit too because this is all he did. I don't know if he really knew how I felt about it though, because I didn't really share it because I knew how important this was to him. And I wanted to be that supportive wife. And I didn't want the pressure of now his wife being upset or feeling like he was in a strained relationship. I didn't want that to be part of it. I wanted him to go into the Hoka Hey, into the ride with a fresh head, just feeling very supportive.
All right, today's Saturday. We're here at Sinners and Saints. This is where the Mile Monsters are gonna meet up. A lot going on today, not gonna lie. Now I'm starting to get a little nervous, but we're gonna make it through this thing. Oh, and if you haven't seen, there's a hurricane headed this way.
Hurricane Debbie, Category 1, making landfall right now in Dixie County.
So much rain going to be falling here over the next couple of days.
This morning, Hurricane Debbie tearing into the Big Bend of Florida's Gulf Coast as a Category 1 hurricane.
There were some questions from new riders as whether they were going to, delay the start or anything like that. Hoka Hey said, nope, we're sticking through it. And it's up to you to figure out whether you're going to go through it or wait it out. I remember coming down and I'm facing south, ready to go into Key West. It was just all dark, like a wall. And I knew right there that, it was gonna rain and it was gonna be windy. I had water coming in just on the inside of my helmet. You're trying to look at these directions and look up, make sure you're not gonna hit anything in the road. The wind's blowing, the rain's hitting you. It was a pretty tough deal the first 3 days.
Watching some of his videos, those were very hard for me because I was so worried about his health. I didn't go to bed until I knew he was stopped for the night. I didn't sleep hardly at all that whole time. It was very nerve-wracking. The first couple days during the hurricane was super nerve-wracking.
It's like 1 o'clock in the morning here in Florida. Is it Monday morning, about 5:30? Man, I've never ridden in any wind or rain like that before. This ride broke me. I had missed so many turns. The average sleep I was getting was 4 hours of sleep. Some nights it was 3. And there was a day where I was just so tired and frustrated with everything. And this was the one where I was 40 miles off course and I pulled over. Yep, I'm off. And I was done. I was done. I called Ann and I said, I'm pointing her east and I'm coming home. I can't do that. And I'm not going to lie, I actually was tearing up because I wanted to finish this. I wanted to do it and I wanted to finish it, but I couldn't do it. And she talked me down, talked me, okay, this is what you want to take your time. This isn't a race type of thing. And from that point forward, every missed turn was just that, just a missed turn. Go back and do it. That's when I changed my mentality, I think. 12 days, not 12th place. Well, as I'm coming down the main road, the hotel that my brother and Ann were at were on that road. So the first people I seen as I'm coming down that road were Troy and Ann. And they're just cheering me on and they're like, yeah, you did it, you did it. I teared up at that point. When I got up to the finish line, it was such a good feeling, to say that I did something like this that very few people have done. And to have Troy and Ann and other Hoka Hey riders there to welcome you across.
Super, super excited for him, to see him cross the finish line and to know that he did it and to know that there were times during the Hoka Hey, it was hard. So I was actually really excited for him, knowing that he accomplished something so big that most people would never do something like this.
My goal was 12 days. I did it in 11 days, 1 hour, and I finished as an elite finisher. I honestly didn't realize how much of a great support system I have in life. It's amazing, first of all, what Ann, what she's done to help me to complete this and come through it. It's amazing. Same with my brother and my mom and my whole family. I guess I didn't realize that they support me this much, as well as friends. Even now, a couple months out of it, and people are like, that was amazing. I watched the whole thing, the text messages I was getting while I was on this ride. You're doing great, and especially as I'm coming to the finish line, the phone just blew up. Great job, you're awesome. And my kids were texting me, and I think that's probably the biggest thing I got out of this. Is I guess I didn't realize how much of a support system I really have until you do something like this, and everybody's there cheering you on and making you feel good, and I know you're tired, keep it going, and that type of thing.